Hi, Lenore here, and I'm going to go over how to calculate the first problem, lean and mean manufacturing, from our practice midterm. So I've put in some structure, but I want to walk you through how to calculate this. So a reminder, this is on page 34 of your textbook, the example of a schedule of costs of goods sold. They've given us this information and they've asked us to calculate the cost of goods sold. In order to do that, we need to calculate first the cost of goods manufactured. So I'm going to do it a little different than the example in the book, but it's a little more streamlined. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with beginning raw materials inventory. So let's pop that in and get the number. Our next addition is the materials purchased, because you start with the beginning, you add whatever you purchase. See, I missed it, so let's do it one more time. And that is $65,000. Now the next piece is we're going to reduce direct materials by the ending raw materials. So let's pop that in here. And I'm going to put in a minus sign. The other thing we need to do is indirect materials is included in materials purchased. So we need to take that out because it really belongs in manufacturing overhead. And again, we're going to reduce it by this dollar amount. So why don't I do this for you? Why don't I type this in to help you remember. Okay, so now we have total direct materials. Our direct labor wages is one amount, and it's located right here. And the next piece is adding all the manufacturing overhead. So what's that? Well, it's the indirect materials, it's the indirect labor, and it's production equipment depreciation, equipment maintenance, and factory rent. How do I know this? Well, if it's a manufacturing company, generally it's a factory. That's one hint. It involves production, and that production involves equipment. Also, office supplies and selling and administrative are definitely not manufacturing. So let's go ahead and include indirect materials. Indirect materials, there it is. And indirect labor. That's a lot of indirect labor. That's because those are the supervisors and things, individuals like that. And then the last three right here, they're all together. Okay. So if you haven't yet, whoops, please remember to take Excel. It is something you use every day when you're working, not just accountants. So here's our total manufacturing overhead. We're going to add the work in process, beginning inventory. We're going to reduce this by our ending work in process. And boom, there's our answer. So how did I get that? Well, let's look at it one more time. We began with total direct materials. We added direct labor wages. We added total manufacturing overhead. We added work in process, the beginning, and we reduced that by the work in process ending balance. And that gave us $249,800. Now that we have that number, you'll notice that in my formula, it pops it right in to my cost of goods sold. So again, this is on page 35 of your text. We begin with finished goods inventory. Here it is right here, beginning finished goods inventory. We add to it our total cost of goods manufactured, which we just calculated. And then we're going to reduce this amount by the ending finished goods inventory. So voila, there we go. So the total cost of goods sold, which is what the question asked for, is $250,100. So that's a little streamlined. I hope you understand it, and I'll explain the other two in the next videos. Lenore out.